Hello. Unfortunately, I'm having to use my phone to do this. and, hmm, I forgot something. I'll be right back. I need some water. Who's out there? I have a hard time seeing the screen, so say hello. Where are you at? Where are you from? Is there anybody out there? Hi, Debbie, Darren. How are you? I was really hoping to use my laptop to do this, but for some reason. Oh, thank you, Luna. I tried using my laptop to go live, and for some reason I couldn't. And it said I had to do some stuff and it might take me 24 hours, but I wanted to come on here and do a live stream. I thought it'd be fun, and I want some people to participate with me. Um, but before I get into the reading, I like to discuss something that happened right about Christmas Eve on my channel, or to my channel, I should say. My channel came under attack by an individual. I'm not going to say who he is. He calls himself an Egyptian psychic. And for some reason, I have no idea, because I never had any difficulty with him before, never really interacted with him before, except in one comment I think I made to him, because did you know, and answer me yes or no in the chat here, did you know that there are two schools of thought in tarot, with tarot readers? There are, my light my light just went out. It's funny. Come on. Anyways, forget about that. You can see me okay. So there seem to be two schools of thought with tarot card readers. There are those like myself and Janine, and I thought everyone who was a tarot card reader or went to tarot card readers knew that the way that the tarot cards work is they are in contact with a higher realm. Some people call it spirit. Some people call it the universe. Our higher selves, the Akashic record. That's another way to think about it. I don't know if you know what the Akashic record is, but it's the idea that everything that has ever happened, will ever happen, is happening at the same time. In other words, time is not linear. It's all time has happened, is happening right now. That means that's why psychics can see into the future. Sometimes cards can predict the future, and the other explanation for why tarot cards works is something that physicists call quantum entanglement, or Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. And the meaning of this is that everything in the universe is connected on the quantum level, much like the idea of the force. It's an energy that surrounds us and binds us and connects all living things, but not just living things. All matter, all things are connected by this force. That's, you know, quantum physics. String theory covers it. So, you know, and then if you know, if you don't like the science part of it, if you're just into the woo woo, that, you know, it's spirit, that it's the universe, it's guides, spirit guides, it's our higher selves that are guiding the cards and giving us the answers that we need. So that's the one view that I thought all tarot card readers shared. Well, it turns out that there is another school of thought, that there's no woo woo with tarot cards at all. That it's psychology, a deep rooted archetypal connection that we have with the cards, and something called conceptual blending. And I was pretty shocked when I heard that there are a group of tarot card readers out there who do readings and are quite successful and get paid a lot of money, like 4 times as much money as what I ask for my readings. Yet they don't believe that there's anything spiritual or mystical going on here. They believe it's all just psychology and coincidence and something called conceptual blending. By the way, the term conceptual blending was coined by marketers, people who figure out how to sell soap and cigarettes, you know, people who try to separate you from your money. They're the ones who came up with this term, conceptual blending. So if you're a tarot card reader and you're using this term, you're not in good company. Let me just put it that way. So anyhow, I going back to the Egyptian psychic who attacked me on the 26th, or I'm sorry, 24th. He I guess he'd been stalking my channel. I must have piqued his ire. I got him upset because I attacked his philosophy. And by the way, I did invite him. Absolutely, Darren. So I invited him to have a discussion with me, a philosophical discussion where we could talk about it, and he never got back to me. So so anyways, he took it on himself to try to get my channel taken down, or at least one of my videos. The video that I did on Jim Morrison, which I thought I was very respectful. I you know, didn't disparage Jim Morrison in any way. I love him. I think I don't think he actually died. I think he went on and did other things with his life, as Rush Limbaugh. And I never said anything bad about him. But this guy really attacked me, and not just me, though. He also attacked my co-host Daiga. Of all things, because of her accent, or not her English. She's Latvian. Thank you. And she doesn't have good grammar, and he was berating her for this. I've been an English teacher for 18 years. I'm very sensitive to this topic of attacking people who are not English speakers. You know, and he attacked Janine as well. And by the way, here's the funny thing. He thought that I was committing a heinous act by contacting someone who supposedly passed away, or, you know, having no respect for the dead, or whatever it was he said. Now, how many videos has Janine done on people who've passed away? Princess Di, and so many others, right? Why didn't he attack her? Could it be that because she has 130,000 followers of devoted fans who would have shredded him and destroyed him if they'd known if he had attacked her. So I was low hanging fruit. He has 15,000 followers, or subscribers. I have just 3,000. He called on his subscribers to report my Jim Morrison video for what I don't know. I didn't break any of the community guidelines. He failed taking getting my video taken down and getting me a strike. Which, by the way, he calls himself a psychic. If he were a psychic, you think he would have seen that he wouldn't be able to do that. He would have failed. So, anyways, I want to say to that person, if he happens to see this video, I forgive you. I understand that you've had the wool pulled over your eyes. You believe what you see on TV. You've probably got the jab two or more times. You probably believe everything you see in the news. And I struck a nerve with you, maybe because I pointed out how your philosophical approach to tarot is wrong and you didn't like it. But I forgive you, and I love you. I love all tarot card readers, and we all have the right to interpret the cards in our own way. By the way, I want to say thank you to VP. I'm not going to mention his name because he gave advice to that guy, the Egyptian psychic. He said, "Hey, leave him alone." And VP is I highly respect him. I disagree with his conceptual blending views and so forth, but good guy to you, VP. So thanks for not piling on. Okay, so now that I have that out of the way, I want to talk about these two events that happened to me when I was very young. Yeah, well, they failed, Kathy, and that's because I had righteousness on my side. I was right, he was wrong. But that's it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to leave that alone. I hope the best for him and people like him. I hope someday they'll see the truth. Okay, so the first time, I think I must have been about 5 years old. I remember from when my first memory is when I was 3. So I'm one of these people who have memories going way back. And I was in Key West with my family. It was probably Christmas or another holiday like that. And it must have been around 1969. And my aunt had gotten a waterbed. And at this time, that was a big deal. Like, wow, a waterbed, a bed made of water. I had to see this. I just couldn't imagine sleeping on water. So I was very excited to go with my cousins and my brother from my grandmother's house. We're going to walk down the street to my Aunt Beverly's house to see her waterbed. So I was all excited about this, and I'm waiting. And at some point, I realized it's getting late in the day, and I asked my family, my cousins and my brother, I said, "Hey, let's go see the waterbed." And they said, "Scott, we already went down to Aunt Beverly's, and we saw the waterbed. You got on it, you experienced it." And I had no memory of this. It was as if somebody took an editing device and just cut this part of my memory out. And that stuck with me. You know, I never forgot about that redacted memory. And I have one other time I remember like that, and it was in school. I was in a Catholic school, so it had to be around the 4th or 5th grade. So what's that, like 7, 8, 9 years old? And I loved going to the library, and I remember it was every Wednesday. And on this particular Wednesday, I was really looking forward to going to the library. I wanted to get, I loved looking at science books. I couldn't read because I was a slow learner, and I didn't really learn to read well until I was about 12. but I still like looking at the pictures, especially in nature books, science books, and stuff like that. So I'm waiting to go to the library to get my book, and then I realize it's almost time to go home. And I raise my hand. I'm like, "Teacher, when are we going to the library?" And she's like, "Scott, we already went to the library today." And I said, "But I didn't get a book. I don't remember that, and I didn't get a book. I know if we'd gone to the library, I'd have a book." And she said, "Well, you just have to wait till next week." So it's always bugged me, like, what happened to that chunk of time and space? Because I mean, I was obviously, my body was there. People told me I was there, but I had no memory of it. So what happened to me? Now, I don't believe that I was abducted by aliens or that I was MK Ultra or anything woo woo like that. And there was an explanation that I had a blood sugar problem, that maybe my blood sugar crashed and my brain just like went into, you know, autopilot or something. So I'm going to ask the cards, and the kind of answers I'm looking for. Now, if it really was my blood sugar, something physical, then I would expect to see pentacles and cups. Pentacles, you know, are about food. Maybe I ate too much sugar that day or not enough sugar. Um, and cups are about fluid, which is blood. Okay, so cups and pentacles. If we see those in there, then we should know it was something kind of just biological, right? If we get a lot of swords and wands, could be psychological. Maybe it was something psychological. Maybe I don't know. Or if we get swords and wands and major arcana, maybe my spirit temporarily left my body or something like that. Maybe I slipped into another dimension briefly. Who knows? I'm open to anything. It's probably more terrestrial, you know, mundane explanation, but I just don't know. And I wonder if anybody out there has had any experience like this, whether it's missing time or redacted memory. That's what I call this. It was a redacted memory. Somehow there were memories that were erased. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look here and try to find out what happened to those blocks of time in my memory. Okay, adjust this camera a little bit. Sorry about that. Maybe you'd like to see the cards. I'm not sure. It'd be too difficult for me to angle the camera. I'll tell you what I get. Okay, so I'll do the first one with the waterbed when I was in Key West. I'll do these one by one. Swords. 8 of Swords. Maybe the universe doesn't want to tell me because I got a moon. Okay. All right. Okay, so leading up to the event, I've got the Knight of Cups. Okay, so that's cups. Knights. Knights are romantic. Knights are the heart. But cups are blood. So let's see. Then for myself, I got this. My thoughts were tied up. This is what this is telling me. My at that moment in time, my thoughts were tied up. And then for the question itself, then I get this moon. So it does seem like my brain just stopped working for a time, and an unknown is this wand. It's like 90% of my consciousness was just turned off. What does that moon mean? The moon, it could be the universe doesn't want to tell me. It's occulted. What actually happened to me is being kept from me. But it looks like and this is the outcome, with it, the magician right next to it, and the Queen of Cups. So this is it's like my mind just traveled off somewhere else. I was in an alpha state. That's what I'm getting here. That for whatever reason, it wasn't because my blood sugar was going crazy, because I'm not getting a lot of things like that. It's more like my mind just wandered off into the nether regions. It went somewhere else. This magician and this Queen of Cups, maybe something upset me. Maybe I got bullied a lot by my brother. Maybe I was just so absorbed with something, my own emotions, that I just got lost in my own thoughts somehow. Someone said alpha state. I slipped into a trance, a self-induced trance, and I was just sleepwalking. Something. Yeah, right. The moon. Yeah, I was, in a way, I was just sleepwalking. So we traveled a long way to get to Key West. Maybe I didn't sleep well, and I just went into some type of sleep state where somnambulance is that word where you're sleepwalking. I used to know it. Okay, so it does look like it was just my mind just kind of shut down for a period, and I was sleepwalking. Okay, so that was that one. And then the other time happened when I was in Catholic school. Okay, so a couple years later, different place, different time, same sort of effect. And let's see if we get something similar. Has anybody else had this happen to you that you can remember, where you just lost a chunk of your life? Not days or anything, but like just a period in your life when something you're expecting something to happen and it just didn't happen. Like I said, it felt like somebody just cut that part of my memory out. If you've had anything like that happen to you, I'd like to hear about it. Okay, so now the library event. I was at a Catholic school. I never had a priest do anything bad to me like so many people have, and but I didn't get along well in the Catholic school. I didn't like following their rules. I got in trouble a lot, and I gotten a lot of fights and stuff. So anyways, oh, look at that. Yeah, I think that's common. A lot of people don't remember like before they were 8 or 9 years old. I remember my earliest memory, I was 3. That's my earliest memory. I think it's common not to remember anything until you, at least after like 5. I'm laughing because I got the Hierophant in the background. And the, oh wow, this is really strange. Okay, so I got this again, which in the first time I did it, this came up in my past leading up to that. Now it's as me myself. And then the Empress. But in the background, I got this Hierophant. So I'm in a Catholic school, and I got the Hierophant in the background. And the unknown thing is this 2 of Cups in the middle. So it seems like I would turn on and off my consciousness from time to time. And because under the 2, I've got the King of Swords. Clarifying. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I got for outcome, and then these are clarifiers. Okay. Wow, Sun and the Devil. So it seems like I just had wild, childlike, child imagination, and I did have these weird abilities when I was a child to almost leave my consciousness could leave my body. I'm gonna get into the transcendental meditation that I did when I was about 9. That I didn't realize what I was doing, but I just remembered another thing that I used to do when I was in Catholic school. I hated school. I hated being there. I wanted to be outside in nature, and there was a pine tree right next to the building. That's amazing. You remember your past life. Walking between worlds, yeah, something like that. But I just had this. I had this ability to send my consciousness out of my body. And when I was very young, I could do it really easily. And there was one time in particular in Catholic school when I really didn't want to be there, and there was a squirrel on a tree just outside the window. And I remember thinking, man, how great would it be to be a squirrel right now and not be stuck here in this classroom with all these idiots. And so I mentally projected my consciousness into that of the squirrel. And I was so engrossed in being that squirrel that I didn't realize until maybe the 3rd or 4th time the teacher said my name, and she was standing next to me. She's Scott. I'm like, huh? I snapped out of it finally. And she says, what are you doing? And I told her, I was the squirrel. I was that squirrel on the tree. And of course, she's just like crazy kid. So that's what I'm thinking here. I had this this childlike imagination, and I could, I don't know, tap into, you think of this as a beast, animal mind, right? And I was able to do that. I don't know. But that particular time, the time with the library, it looks like my mind was just off somewhere else, and I was on autopilot again. So I guess that's all it was. Just a very overactive imagination and just losing track of who I am. Help teach orphans. Let me see. Oh, I read slowly, and where did that message go? How do I get that message back? There. Live chat, all messages visible. I'm trying to read your message again. That's right, you're not your body. Yeah, there was something like that that happened. Okay, so this other thing I want to talk about is I don't know if you all know what transcendental meditation is, right? So the ability to send your consciousness outside of your body. Well, I went to Catholic school, which was a small school. There were maybe 20 or 25 kids in my classroom, and in the whole class, the whole class, that was like the whole elementary school had in my class 20 or 25 kids. So you ate lunch sitting at your desk, usually a paper bag lunch that you brought, and I could be off by myself in my own thoughts very easily. But I really did not like Catholic school. There were a couple of bullies in my class that were giving me a hard time, and I wanted to be in a normal school. So I made my mom, in the 6th grade, I had my mom enroll me in public school. And my first experience with cafeteria was overwhelming. I'd never been in anything like that before. There were hundreds of kids in there, all this noise and commotion going on, and because of my mental thing that I'm different, I'm dyslexic. Yes, thank you. I believe so. I got the moon as my career card for tarot card reading. So yeah, it's like I have this. I can go into other realms. So yeah, dyslexic and attention deficit, and just maybe some people said that maybe I'm a little bit Asperger's, right? Because I can't control like some things I think I say without being able to control them. So I have to be really careful, especially like doing a live YouTube stream. And just a lot of people. I didn't like being around a lot of people. So I was in the cafeteria. It's 6th grade. So what's that? 9 years old, 10 years old, and all the commotion was bothering me, and I just didn't want to be around it anymore. And so I remember I looked into the corner of the room where the ceiling met the 2 walls to form like a triangle, a 3-sided triangle, right? And I focused on that center spot in the middle of that where those 3 planes met. And slowly, everything around me, my peripheral vision started to fade. My hearing started to fade. It became a tunnel vision until the only thing left was that one tiny little spot in the corner of the ceiling and the walls. And everything else disappeared. And I used to joke, I would tell people, I make you disappear. I can make you all disappear. And once I discovered this, I used it a few times when I didn't like the situation that I was in. If there's too much going on around me that was upsetting me, or I just didn't like it, I could make everything disappear. And I've done it a few times as an adult, but it's a lot harder. But yeah, when I was a kid, I'll just make you all disappear. I could make everything just go away. And I didn't know what transcendental meditation was at the time. And by the way, I didn't go anywhere else. Like I didn't go it's not like I went to a place where I had enlightenment and I could see it was just nothingness. I'd go into a state of of nothingness or complete oneness with the universe or the nothingness. So anyways, how did I know how to do that at 9? I didn't have any training in meditation or anything. How was it I was able to do that at such a young age without even knowing what I was doing? So I'm gonna take a look here. And has anybody else ever done anything like this? Have you ever been able to make the world disappear? Actually, Jerome, I got that one time. I was meditating here not too long ago, and I suddenly had this like memory of myself as a monk, a Buddhist monk, right here in Thailand. My battery's dying. I gotta get. Let's see if I can plug this. So, what was I doing? How I know what I was doing. I want to know how was I able to use transcendental meditation with no training when I was just a little kid? How was I able to do that? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. So I was able. I'm really sorry I can't read all your comments. I read slowly with my dyslexia, and they kind of go by fast, and I don't know how to pull them up again. Anyways, leading up to this, so my mind was able to go off into other realms. Okay, so something I was born with that ability. Uh, it's a family trait, by the way. It's something, and this is I come from a long line of mystics. My mother told me there's a biography written on one of my great great uncles or something like that. He was actually a kind of a big guy back in Cuba, and there's a biography written about him. I want to read this. I really need to get this, but my mother says the first line says he came from a long line of mystics. So and then for the outcome, you got this. I've got this magician, right? So I have a past life history of mysticism, and not only that, my a family history of it. I come from a family of mystics. Um, so yeah, it's just something that I was born knowing how to do. And as I said that, I pulled a yes. So that's cool. My mother, I grew up around mysticism all the time. My father was not into it. He thought it was all you know, crazy talk. But my mother really loved it. And my mother was always going to mystics and tarot card readers. And she told me that she took me along with her one time to go to there's a town in Florida called Talladega where all the mystics used to live, tarot card readers and psychics and spiritualists and people like that. My mother said she took me not to see not to get a reading for me, but to get a reading for herself. And she told me that the psychic there told her that I did have something. She doesn't remember the exact word. She used intuitive, that I was intuitive, or that I had some kind of. I don't feel I have great psychic powers. I think everybody has some psychic powers, and I have had some psychic events happen to me, but I don't consider myself psychic. Not like my sister, Angel, who is a highly psychic, intuitive person. I hope to have her on my show soon. So this is 40 minutes. That's already a pretty long video, and I think I talked enough about myself. And yeah, I think I got the answer. It's more of a just who I am. I did have a out of body experience one time while meditating, where my higher self, or my consciousness, rose up out of my body, and I found myself looking up, down at myself, and I was so freaked out about it that I snapped back into my body, and then I kind of was always afraid to try it again after that. I don't know why. I was more afraid that I would fail. I was more afraid that I would try to actually, because I wasn't trying to have my astral self come out. It just happened spontaneously. And then I was afraid that if I tried to do it on purpose, that I never would be able to do it again. And that would be really frustrating, make me question. So I've got my cards here. Does anybody have a question? Would you like me to something? I'd like it to be along the lines of this topic. Have you ever had missing time, or just something mysterious happen to you in your childhood that you would like me to look for an answer? If not, then I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for watching. I keep forgetting to promote myself. So a while back, after Janine shouted me out, I got lots of emails requesting personal readings, and I went through them all. I answered them all. I got lots of readings through that. Met a lot of wonderful people like Kathy Rigby, who I saw in the chat earlier, and everybody was really happy with their readings from me, and it made me feel happy. And let's face it, this is how I earn a living nowadays. Well, I know it's the holidays and Christmas and New Year, and maybe people aren't are busy, but right now my schedule's clear, pretty clear. I've got 3 people who have paid in advance, and some books some days for next week, but my schedule's pretty clear. So if you would like a personal reading from me, I allow up to 2 hours for $50. You can pay me through MoneyGram, or you can use my sister's PayPal account. Don't worry, she's completely trustworthy. In fact, I owe her thousands of dollars. So even if she were to take money from me, she would be justified in doing it. But she's been very kind to allow me to use her PayPal, because I can't do that in Thailand. So if you would like a reading, please email me. I will put my email in the description under here, and let's get you a reading. But right now, I'm willing to do a reading for anybody listening right now. There's 15, 16 people out there. If you have a question and you would like me to do a reading on it right now, I would love to do that for you. Anybody? Okay, since I'm not seeing anything come up here, then I just want to say thank you very much for watching me in this live stream and taking a look at these mysteries, a couple of these mysteries of my life. You're very welcome, Kathy. Thank you for your support. Okay. Oh, okay. Sharon, you often meet people who think you know you. Maybe you just, some people have those faces, right? Okay. Sharon, good. That's a good question. Why? Yeah. Okay. I got your question, Sharon. Thank you very much. Let's take a look. Why do people often think that they know Sharon? Hmm, interesting. I like this one. Okay, Sharon. Ooh, I think you've had many past lives. I say that because I got this, since this is the topic that we're on. I mean, the first thing I thought of when I saw your question is past lives, and I got this 10 of Wands for you. I'm thinking many past lives and a temperance for you in the background in leading up. So even like you were like a healer. Okay, so this is what I think. I think that you have been a person who worked in medical, maybe not medical, because going back years, you were a healer in past lives. So you would have been with a lot of people as they passed away. Okay. You were there to give them comfort. You got this Queen of Wands and this Nine of Swords. So as people were passing away, you were there with them because you were a healer of some sort. So your face would have been the last thing that they saw before they passed on. And because you had so many lives, and I think this was a role that you've done many times in past lives, there are a lot. And also you have to remember that soul groups tend to come back in the same area, or they somehow meet up again at some point. So probably everybody that we meet in our lives who becomes somehow significant in our lives, even if it's just an acquaintance you make on Facebook and then you chat with a few times, probably was in a soul group in a past life as well. And now because of the internet, we are able to meet up with so many of these past acquaintances and friends that we had. But this is what I'm getting. You were a healer. You were with people as they were dying. So you were the last thing they saw. So your face would be very memorable to them in the next life. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I think. That's why your face is so memorable, or the people think they know you. Luna, I I'd rather not do that in a public forum. Um, if you can't afford a free reading from me and you'd like to know the answer to this, I mean, if you can't afford to pay a $50 fee for me to look at that question, then I understand that. Message me. Um, I'll put some links to how you can contact me, and I'll do it. I'll do it in a private reading for you. Okay. It won't be like a full-blown 2-hour reading, but I'll answer that question for you, Luna. I don't feel comfortable. You're welcome. I don't feel comfortable doing something so personal live on YouTube. Hope you understand that. But Luna, I'd like to give you that answer, so you can message me. Okay, well, we're at 50 minutes in, and I don't want this to go on so long. So I want to thank everybody very much. Thank you for your support. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading from me, and you can spare $50. Hey, by the way, the Egyptian psychic does readings on Etsy. He does. Thank you very much, Jerome. His prices are 4 times more expensive than mine are. Okay, he does like 30 minutes for $75 or something ridiculous like that. So, and he doesn't even believe in the woo woo of tarot cards. I listen, I don't want to bash these people, but I don't see how anybody would want to pay money to a tarot card reader who doesn't believe in mysticism or the woo woo. You know, I just don't get that. But hey, that's their thing. They do well at it. They make a lot of money doing it. Good for them. All right, thank you everybody. Sawadee Kap. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for your support and love. I love you too. Goodbye. Happy New Year to you too. Now I just got to figure out how to stop this thing. Okay, there we go. Goodbye, everybody.